Hi, good afternoon. So today I want to talk about Martin Heidegger's fourfold. It's the fourfold. Fourfold. So I'll just lay it out very quickly, very briefly. So Martin Heidegger died in 1976. Okay, so he was a 20th century philosopher. By some accounts, the greatest, certainly one of the great philosophers of the 20th century, without any doubt, I think. And one thing that he does later in his life is he tries to rethink the philosophical tradition, to try to start what he calls an other beginning. The first beginning is with Thales and the pre-Socratics in Greece. And they start philosophy. And they start it as, if you listen to me, you know, with Thales, it's water, Anaximander, Apeiron, others, it's the logos, it's the good, it's being, it's nous or mind. And there are various attempts to answer the question of being, the fundamental philosophical question, what is there? There's a very long history of philosophy. It's intertwined with Christianity and what Martin Heidegger and science. And what Martin Heidegger tries to do is to rethink philosophy, to try to go back to an earlier time in terms of a primordial thinking. And so he comes up with the fourfold. Now, I don't take the fourfold as if it is a new philosophy or a permanent, singular, overarching, fundamental way of looking at things. What I look at it as a really interesting, really fun mental experiment. Okay? To try to really, really go back and really rethink what is fundamental to human experience. And that's the fourfold. I could talk about this for a couple hours, but I'm going to try to make this short and just walk right through it. So the first part of the fourfold is right here. It's the earth. Now, if you think about how fundamental the earth is, and don't think about the earth as the third rock from the sun or a planet or anything like that, think of it from the perspective of a baby, an animal. The earth is where we spend all of our time. It's right under our feet. I mean, we have feet, we have legs because there is an earth. We have this body in this particular form because there is an earth. We depend on the earth. The reason we flew around the moon this week is because we want to turn the moon into a new terrestrial landscape, to settle it, eventually to go to Mars. And in the case of those settlements on the moon or the settlements on Mars, they would be new Earths. But the human experience of living on Mars or living on the moon would be fundamentally the same. Okay? Now, what comes next? But before I go to the second step, you really have to look at it very, very, very fundamentally. That I'm on the earth. I depend on the earth. When we die, we're buried in the earth. We come from the earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. The earth is very fundamental to our human experience. And anywhere we go in the cosmos, we're going to seek out a new earth. Okay? So fundamental it is. We care for the earth. We have an Earth Day. And we cultivate it. We build on it. We live on it. Okay. We call it Mother Earth. Okay. It's very fundamental. And what comes next in human experience? The sky. The sky is next. The sky is, when I look up at these tall trees and that blazing sun, I see threats. I wear a hat. I don't go out in the woods when it's windy because I'm afraid some of these branches could fall and trees could fall. It happened in Germany on Easter Day. A tree fell during, very tragic event, a tree fell during a Easter egg hunt and killed a couple people. Things fall from the sky. The sky threatens us with lightning and thunder, with tornadoes and hurricanes, hail, snow, the sun, meteor impacts. You look around the world today, look how many people are afraid of the sky. A lot of people. A lot of people nowadays are afraid of the sky. They call it global warming or climate change, and that the atmosphere is going to heat up and we're all doomed and we're all going to die because of some concentration of CO2. Again, pause and reflect on how fundamental that fear is. The fear that the sky could open up and kill us all. I have other stories about that I could tell, but not at the moment. So when the sky opens up, what do we learn about ourselves? Fundamentally, we learn the third part of the fourfold. We learn that we are mortals. So what do mortals do? We learn to protect ourselves. And how do we do that? We build. Building. The act of building buildings, of building dwellings with secure roofs to protect us from the elements, from the sun, from the rain, from the storms. Okay? That's fundamental to who we are. If you want to ask the question, what are we? Who are we? We are builders. Just think about that for a moment. How much time do you spend indoors? I'm afraid to come out here during storms. I'm actually really afraid. I don't come out here when it's stormy out or windy, because I've been in the woods and seen trees fall quite ferociously. Okay, so I stay away from the threatening sky. Now, fundamentally, what then do we do in our dwellings, in our buildings? This is the fourth part of the fourfold. Fundamentally, what we do is we wait. And we wait. And we wait. And what are we waiting for? What are you doing in your life? What do you really, really hope to achieve with all your education and your money and your friends, your influence, your books, your name up in lights, your fortune, your fame, your name, your legacy? What? What good is it all pointing towards? You think about that? Martin Heidegger has an answer, and it is with a indefinite article. In answer. Not the answer with a definite article, but an indefinite article. An answer. One answer among potentially other answers. And his answer is, we are waiting for the gods. And that's it. The earth is fundamental to our experience. The sky opens up and threatens us. We protect ourselves with hats and umbrellas and buildings and cars. Umbrellas are at our picnic tables. We run indoors to protect our mortality. We build all of our buildings. We just built a Artemis 2 spacecraft to fly around the moon, to explore, to find a new Earth. All the while worried about micrometeor protection and radiation, threats from the sky. And fundamentally, what it means to be a human being is to live here on Earth under a threatening sky, to build, to dwell, and wait for the gods to come. And this is why when we die, we are buried into the earth and we rest in peace. And we rest in peace, waiting. Waiting for the gods. And that's it. Just let these ideas wash over you. Calm your psyche. Calm your thoughts. Look around where you are. Maybe you're inside a building. Maybe you're in your home, your dwelling. Fundamentally, what are you doing? You're waiting for the gods. And that's it. Just meditate.